So I've been thinking a lot about how dance is portrayed on social media and how potentially problematic that is, and how to be part of the solution as someone who posts dance content. Um, how do you post dance in a way that's helpful? A way that inspires but doesn't lead to only aspirational content, but actually inspirational content? And one thing is that I don't have any posed dance pictures. I've never taken any. I don't have any taken of me. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that as any person out there who dances. Like, you can do whatever you want. I'm simply saying, why don't I have like photo shoot type dance pictures taken of myself? Or why don't I post those type of photos? I don't, because I want to show how I actually dance in real life. All of the photographs that I have of my rhythmic and of my dancing on my Instagram are all things that I've really done in a real performance, a real competition, a real rehearsal. They're me doing it in real life. They're not posed, they're not edited. It's not a clever angle to make my leg look higher, or make my back look higher, or make whatever look better. It is what it is, right? And yes, I post pictures that I think are good. Everyone does that. No one posts pictures where, there were flexed feet or bent knees or awkward positions. Everyone posts the most aesthetic pictures they like of themselves. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having someone take a photo of you doing something because you want to post it on social media. I don't think there's something wrong with that on its face. I just wanted to express why I don't do that. I want my dance content to be authentic. If you see it, I can do it in real life in front of you in a performance. If you see a picture of me doing something, I can actually do it. It's not an angle, it's not a pose, it's not something that I held for 1 second while they clicked the camera. That's like a pet peeve of mine is when you see those like behind the scenes videos of even professional dancers doing photo shoots, and it's like even that 1 second where the position looks like what it ends up looking like in the social media post, it's not real, right? So if I'm just saying for myself, if you see a picture of me doing something, I've actually done it. I actually can do it without editing, without help, without making it look better. And I think it's important to point that out, because I think on social media there's a lot of fake dance content. And sure, the person may be able to dance really well in real life also, but they're not showing you that. They're showing you a very curated example of their very best position in their very best angle that's made to look exceptional, when I would want to see a video of that person actually dancing, actually in a show, or actually in a class. Let's see. That's always what I feel like, because it's one thing to be able to hit a pose or a position at a flattering angle. It's another thing to actually be able to put together a dance and to actually be an artist. And I think that a lot of social media dance content takes away from the artistry of dance and shows you exceptional positions and exceptional achievement statically in a vacuum, and makes you aspire to something that you don't have, or aspire to something you would need to work very long and hard to get to. And that thing may or may not even be real. In the cases of some pictures of people's extensions and people's arabesques and things like that, those are very generous examples of what the person can actually do in real life when they're really dancing in front of you. And some of them may be actually able to do that, but you can't tell by some of those very produced photos. So what I try to do is only post pictures of things I've actually done and things I can actually do in front of someone in real life. Because I think that that's inspiring, whereas the other way is it just creates aspiration but not inspiration. And the other thing that I've talked about before is how social media, you don't see the process that it took someone to get somewhere. So you can see somebody doing like a great high extension or doing tons of great pirouettes, and you're not seeing what it took that person to get to that point. And you're also not seeing how many failed attempts were videoed before they got the good one. And hey, maybe they did it on the first take, but you don't know. And that's where social media and dance kind of, it gets inauthentic and it gets dishonest. And there's no way to be fully honest on social media, because you're not going to post stuff that you don't like looking at. You know, you're not going to post yourself messing up. And I'm not going to do that either. I don't want to post like ugly pictures. But I do like to post pictures that show progress and show process. And because I think it makes it more authentic, that you don't just walk on stage and do these things. You don't just come out and do. But a lot of the dance content I see on Instagram, I try not to look at it. And YouTube too. I try not to look at it because some of it's just performative. Some of it's just to try to make you aspire to something that you're not in the position to achieve. It doesn't make sense. It's just who's doing the most turns, who has a super high extension, who has the most crazy, position, and it's just a lot of the art of dance is lost in that, because even that person who can do that one turn that you're seeing, well, what does it look like when they actually dance in a role on stage? Like what can they, are they an artist? You don't know. They might be, but then it might not be. And it's just important to keep in mind that there's more to dance than one aspect. If you have one aspect that's incredible, like you're great at turns or you're great at leaps, then you can use that. And you can use that to your advantage. But you can't just be a one-trick pony, and you can't just be someone who looks good on social media dancing. I think that if you're a real artist, you may not have the most exciting, flashy social media pictures, but you can actually dance in real life. And I would just want to inspire anybody who's a younger dancer watching this to think about, can you dance in real life better than what your Instagram looks like? Because you should be able to dance better than what your Instagram can show. Your Instagram should not do justice to your dancing, instead of the other way around, where you actually can't dance as well as your Instagram makes you look like you can. So just keep in mind, it shouldn't be, it should be that your best is only can be experienced in person. And if your best can be experienced on social media, then it's more important to work on what you actually bring to the table in real life. Because you're not going to an audition by someone scrolling through your Instagram videos. You have to be able to dance in real life. And real dance is in front of a live audience, not in front of, how many views and likes and comments you can get online. And that's not to say that if you have some beautiful aesthetic photo that was taken at a photo shoot that you shouldn't post it. But it is to say that you should keep in mind the context of some of the photos that you see of people doing different dance photo shoot pictures. And you should just keep in mind that it's easy to look good in those photos. It's hard to look good on stage in real life when you're really dancing. And you can't see people's transitions in static photos. And a lot of dance is transitions. If you're like, a lot of being able to look good on stage is how you transition. Whether you transition smoothly, whether you transition in a way that flows the movement together, whether you transition with good technique, with turnout, with pointed feet, stepping through your feet, through your demi point, things like that. If you are working on that and actually dancing with the intention of transitioning well, you can't see that on social media in like a static picture. And that's when you see those behind the scenes photos shoots. Like a lot of times you'll see the short videos of like someone doing a photo shoot and they hit like a beautiful arabesque position, right? And they just step out of it and they just step down. Or they hit this like beautiful side extension and then just like, you know, kind of fall out of it. Hit this beautiful like overextended, you know, leap position, or, you know, arching back or something, and then just sort of collapse out of it. But the picture is taken at the height of the position, and then it's just kind of like, doesn't matter what you do after that. You know, do a needle and just arch back and pull it completely into an oversplit, which if you're really flexible, you can do that, right? But what's really hard to do is to control your body out of that position, right? If you can do like a needle and you can pull it into an oversplit, right? What's really hard, and when I was training in rhythmic, what you'd hear all the time when you're working on that position to actually do in a routine is your stomach up. You have to pull your stomach up and you have to pull your back up because you have to close on susu. You have to close with your legs together. You can't fall forward. But what I see all the time with people, these like dance photo shoot needle people, they just pull it, show as much flexibility as possible. The photo is taken at that point and they just step forward and they just fall forward. And like as a rhythmic gymnast, I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's a huge deduction. It's no credit for the skill. It's a 3/10 deduction at minimum. You know, it's nothing. It's zero. Like I think nothing of that. Like if you're flexible enough to pull your leg like that, the hard part is the control. And anyone who's flexible knows that flexibility makes control hard. And so some of these positions, and needles, just one example, it's the side positions as well, the tilt positions as well, even like the super overextended arabesque positions. A lot of times those photo shoots, they just take the picture and fall right out of it. Even turns, like they take a picture of like the peak of the shape as the person is turning, and then the clip only shows part of it, and then it's like you'd have no idea if they actually just fell out of that. Behind the scenes of the photo shoot, they probably did. And that's the kind of dance content that I personally dislike on social media, and I find it to be very fake. And I think that if you're going to show a position, you should show that you can use it. You can transition in and out of it. Because if you can't, it's not really dance. It's just a position that you can do with your body. And actually not one that you can fully control yourself in and out of. And even people who post like crazy pictures of their oversplits, like statically on a chair or on, you know, a very high thing. I'm like, well, let's see your leap. Let's see how well you can use that oversplit. Let me see you do a grand jeté then. Let me see a turning leap. Let me see a split arch leap. Let me see. Can you use your oversplits or not? Because a lot of people can do splits. A lot of people can do oversplits. You can just make yourself look good in a way that's not functional. So don't get discouraged if you see people doing crazy stuff on social media. Because I bet if you met half those people in real life, they can't even dance nearly as good as their Instagram makes it look like they can. And like I said, it should be the other way around. You should be able to dance way better than it looks on your social media. And there's so much more to dance than just like ABC technique. Like you gotta have good technique, but there's so much more to dance than just like being able to do what is asked for like academically in class, because there's so much more to performance. But at the same time, there's so much more to technique than just the positions that people take pictures of, because technique has to do with how you go from one position to the next and how you create dance, which linking together of different steps. So just my never-ending rants about why I don't like dance social media And then I try to create some content for dance social media because I want to share in a different way. And I want people to understand that, like, dance is not just like, oh, look at this insane position this person can do. And some of those, like, insane positions, you just hear the behind the scenes. It's like the photographer's just telling the person what to do. And then they're just doing it, and they're basically falling out of it the second the picture is taken. Especially those ones that make it look like people are balancing on point in different positions. I'm like, let's see that as a video, though. Because how do we know that you can balance like that on point? Some people can, and some people really can, and it's impressive. It's crazy. It's really cool. But nobody knows you can balance if somebody just click, right? One picture, and you could fall right out of it. So, that's the kind of stuff that and rhythmic gymnastics social media has the same problem as dance social media sometimes. So, same thing. Like, all the same stuff applies. But I just think that there's so much of dance that just bothers me on social media, and I just wanted to say that because I just find it so performative. It's so fake. It's not what dance is. Dance is art, right? And art is nuanced, and you can't experience art from static pictures, from clips. You have to experience the entire thing. And in order to be a dancer, in order to be an artist, you have to be able to do a lot more than just take pretty posed photos at a photo shoot. You have to be able to do a lot more than that. So it's fine if you take those pictures. I'm not knocking you, but I am saying that make sure you can do a whole lot more than that. And also, like, be honest with what you post, right? Don't post something you can't actually do. And I bet a lot of people I know a lot of dance Instagram people post a lot of stuff they can't actually do in a show. They can't actually do it in real life because they fell out of it the second the picture was taken. So, it's partially the culture of wanting that instant validation of likes or comments or people thumbs up in your posts. But the truth is that dance is so much more than that, and it cannot be captured on social media in full. And so the big takeaway is, don't be discouraged by what you see on social media and think, wow, I can't do that, or those people are so much better, because you really don't know if those people can do any of what they're actually posting unless you've seen them dance in more of a long form video or in real life.